Utah. It's election day. We're a little preoccupied as a country. The Bush administration delivers to the National Park Service in the state of Utah the resource management plans that just very quietly say 400,000 acres, public lands, your lands, our lands, are now open for business. 400,000 acres. Adjacent to Canyonlands National Park, adjacent to Dinosaur National Monument, adjacent to Arches National Monument Park, right near our home in Castle Valley, Utah. Nobody was paying attention. The Park Service was not notified. But luckily there were people watching, Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance being one of those, a local watchdog group. And the people of Utah cried foul, the people in this country cried foul, and the BLM was forced to retreat from the 400,000 acres to only 300,000 acres. Asked to take 99 leases off the list, they backed down to 22. To make a long story short, there were many, many attorneys and local organizations working really hard to fight the illegality of this. No NEPA, no EPA, no endangered species studies, just wholesale business with the assumption that what is good for business is good for this country. We in the American West know this is not true. Last comment. A young man, Tim DeChristopher, 23 years old, an economic major at the University of Utah, went to participate with a lot of us in front of the federal building of the unjust nature of this. It was cold, it was snowing, he walked in, there was a bid auction, it's what we were protesting. All of a sudden he saw an opportunity. He picked up a bidder's paddle and started outbidding the oil and gas executives and representatives. $1.2 million worth. And exposed the absolute bogus nature of this. You don't need bonding, you don't need a name tag, you don't need anything to bid for public lands. We cheered him. And if you want to see a great interview, go to Google and watch Amy Goodman interviewing Tim DeChristopher shortly after. It makes you weep. Tim DeChristopher has become a dear friend. He was arraigned on Tuesday. This is not small. People in Utah are hell-bent on seeing him in prison. Minimum 2 years, maximum 10 years, $750,000. When the sagebrush rebels in Utah's history destroyed millions of dollars worth of public lands with bulldozers, they were not prosecuted. They were not made examples of. They did not go to court. They were cheered. Salazar, our Secretary of Interior, has deemed this illegal, this oil and gas lease process illegal. He has not come out in support of DeChristopher. Because if those are illegal, then what Tim did was not illegal. It was an act of civil disobedience that we know in this country is at the hallmark of a democratic society. Jim Hansen has come out in support of Tim DeChristopher. I do not want to see him to go to jail. And I said, you know what, Tim? Nobody cares if you're a martyr. Nobody cares if you're on the right side of justice. I've been in jail, for a couple of days under privileged circumstances. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there in Utah. He needs our help. Environmental issues are social issues, are issues of justice.